welcome to Dress Stories. Today we have such an amazing guest and friend. This is Voula Callas.
Hi, everybody.
And I think we might as well just jump right in. And I think that the name Voula Callas is so fantastic. I knew right away about the second part. I mean, instinctually, I thought, oh, that must be. But why don't you tell us a little bit about how you chose that name?
Absolutely. So I come from a Greek heritage. So ideally, when I was thinking about my drag name, I wanted it to be something Greek, of course. So I was like ruminating on ideas. I was thinking like something from Greek mythology, not something so obvious like Aphrodite, but something maybe more obscure, but then that didn't stick. And then I thought I was really obsessed with Thoroughly Modern Millie at the time and Sutton Foster, like her performance on Broadway. So I took like an ancient Greek name, Daphne, and then the character Millie's last name, Dilmount. So then I thought Daphne Dilmount. No, that didn't seem right.
I don't see you as a Daphne.
No. I love the name and the myth, but no, it didn't fit. And then it was just like another name I had written in my journal that I kind of like passed on that idea. But Voula comes from Thea Voula from My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yay! We love her.
We love her. Comedic genius.
Yeah.
Andrea Martin is an absolute legend. And then, of course, Maria Callas, the legendary Greek soprano. And of course, you would know who she is.
Yes.
Known for just revolutionizing opera, resurrecting old operas, and just the incredible power of her voice, her poise, her elegance, her regalness. I mean, hello. Hello. Look at the material.
You know, I have a song in my head, which I think we talked about when we very first met or something. Anyways, I remember us having this conversation. But, you know, the movie Philadelphia.
Yes, yes.
And Maria Callas singing Mama Morta. And I just got chills up my spine.
Yes.
If you haven't seen that or if you haven't heard that song, run, you know, listen to it on Spotify or it is, oh, Maria Callas is... I know.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about
Amazing.
it. I remember, being in your shop and then hearing the aria in the background. And it's just, you can recognize Maria's voice. It's so distinctive, the timbre. Yeah. And it was Mama Morte. And I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah. Can you sing?
No, I can't.
Oh, man.
I know.
It's like beauty is enough. I mean, I kind of resent people who are beautiful and can sing. It's just like, how did that gene pool get, you know, all into one person? Right?
That's why I lip sync.
Oh,
and
yes.
That's something I'm known for. It's just my lip syncing and making it look real and serving realness as a drag queen and serving the fantasy.
Would you ever do an opera?
I have, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've done...
Oops.
No, it's okay. I've done Sempre Libera. Again, I hope I'm saying that right. From La Traviata, which is an opera that Maria Callas also kind of revolutionized. And
isn't Sempre...
It's like forever.
Always?
Always.
Always. It means always in Italian, yeah.
Yes, and it has like a beautiful coloratura like showcase for a soprano. And then I've done Queen of the Night aria. That's like such a famous one with the high Fs. Also another coloratura. But yeah, so I put Voula Callas. It had a nice ring to it.
It's perfect. So on that note, how long have you been performing?
So I made my debut March 4th, 2017.
Really?
Yes.
Have I known you that long?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Even longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I was coming here more regularly 2016, perhaps 2015. The reason why I have that date ingrained in my mind is because I was looking forward to it for probably a year, like thrifting every weekend, coming here a lot, just curating a drag image for myself. So when I made my debut, I would be successful and make an impact and hopefully, you know, make connections and get booked.
What was your first show? I mean, talk about nerves.
My first show was the Outreach Amateur Drag Pageant show. Outreach was a student group at the University of Alberta. I did Fabulous Baby from Sister Act the musical.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Dolores Van Cartier is just singing about why she wants to be a star, and she's just leaving it all out on the stage, and I just kind of related to that, and I wanted to show how fabulous I was.
Were you nervous?
I was. I remember, and this is so dorky now that I think about it, they said you can go early to rehearse on the stage. Nowadays, I wouldn't do that. I still get nervous, like always. But I went early and I just blanked in my rehearsal. I just, oh, okay, like there's a stage and the music, I can't hear it as well because the speakers are up there, not behind me. But then once I did it later, and I think it was good that I rehearsed, it just clicked and you just get possessed in the adrenaline, and I hit every mark that I wanted to.
Perfect.
When I was rehearsing in my room, and I placed third, and
that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
For first time. Yeah, that's
like,
huge.
Yeah, I thought, you know, I was gutted, but then I did the best that I could, and also I thought we were winning a crown, but it was like
You didn't get a crown.
it was all about the crowd.
Right.
It was like a $20, $40, and $60 gift card for first, second, and third.
I'd be like, where's my crown?
Yeah, so I was like, well, I didn't get a crown. Oh, I wouldn't have gotten a crown. But no, I made amazing connections from that show and got amazing feedback. And winning isn't everything, but wanting to is. So.
Right. You have a background in Greek dancing, right?
Yes. So I actually attended Greek school and was part of the Greek community, obviously being Greek my whole life. We're just across the street from the Greek school, St. George's. Spent about half my life there, and I'm really grateful that my parents sent me there so I could learn the language. At the time it sucked, doing Saturday school. Yeah, like I graduated in grade 9 of, like when I was in grade 9 in English school. And then I kind of lost it, but the past few years I've been just really working at it again. But it definitely helps later in life. I find, like when I took French in high school, just it helps with a lot of things, pronunciation of other languages, and
right.
But yeah, and then we did Greek dancing, and then that translated to I was part of the Greek dance group that a lot of the adults join. Did Greek dancing there. I was the male dance instructor. Male. I mean, it's funny to think about it now, but I'm grateful for that experience. Later, I realized it wasn't for me. So I had to step back from that. And I knew I always had to choose between drag or Greek dance. But then with drag, like you said, it is like a different kind of dance. Like we're dancing in heels, in tights, like jewelry, tight-fitting dresses. So you'll be on stage and you'll feel like a little pop and a little rip, and it's like, oh.
Right.
So you kind of have to make sure, like not move so fast. Like you live and you learn.
Do you have favorite designers that you are trying to emulate that look?
I would say, of course, Dior. Like classic Dior, the new look.
This kind of looks like Dior
this
new
kind
look,
of
right?
Going back to basics. This lovely dress I got
back to
Switch.
basics. I mean, it's not basic at all, but yeah. Galliano did that weird antelope shoe thing for a while, right? I think that shoe, or that wasn't the shoe that Naomi Campbell wore, but she ended up doing it was Vivienne Westwood. She fell in the rubber.
The rubber tights. And
yeah.
I think in her interview with Vivienne, she mentioned that they were rubber tights.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of that, I would love that shoe. That's like one of my dream shoes. And it's like a warped heel. It's not like a stiletto. Like you get Pleasers, which is like a brand of like common, you know, dancer shoes. Can we say stripper heels?
Yeah.
Stripper heels.
Were you looking at fashion magazines and drooling over that kind of stuff for many, many years before? Or, you know, was there always this passion for that fashion?
I watched Fashion File with Jeannie Becker.
Oh,
yes,
we love Jeannie Becker. Yeah.
Loved that. And there was like the Obsession song, like dun 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 dun. Dun. Yes.
Obsession.
Every time you hear that song, like the intro to that show comes back, and just seeing her interview all the designers, I just always had an affinity for it. It's in my bones. Like I'm just built for it. Like I feel like I was born to be a drag queen. Like when I'm in drag, it's like I'm like the goddess. Like I'm that starlet.
So we know that you like designers and Dior and those sorts of things, but obviously Swish is a vintage store, and you are wearing a beautiful Swish vintage dress. And so what do you like about vintage, or what has drawn you to vintage pieces?
I think the fact that it's a one-of-a-kind piece, you almost feel like you are really like treasure hunting. Like you found a unique piece of history from the past. Usually the cuts are more interesting and classic. They kind of like hug your body better. I find the material is often better quality. And I usually just go to the thrift store, go to the formal wear section, and kind of find...
And you're petite. So with vintage clothing, so many of the dresses are petite.
I guess I am luckier that just growing up, I always had like more womanly figure. Like again, kind of like born to do drag. I'm built for it.
But it is sometimes more difficult to find vintage gowns for people who are broader in the shoulders, or, you know, who, yeah.
That's a very fair point. Like I am lucky that I can go to a thrift store and
buy something off the rack.
Buy something off the rack. And yeah, just like when I was growing up, again, like I was always insecure about like my curves. Like obviously I was, you know, assigned male at birth, but yeah, I kind of always had curves, and sort of like an 80s power suit, just kind of, they just fit like the women. Well, I guess the beauty standards were like the Cindy Crawfords and Paulina Porskovas, just like these goddesses with these like banging curves, and they just, a size like 6 or 8 just fits me like a glove, and I'm pretty lucky for that.
So I won't get into this too much, but there's just recently a new the Supermodels show on Disney.
I watched on Apple TV.
Apple TV.
Yes. I watched the whole thing.
And I mean, those girls in the 80s, they weren't even models yet. And Cindy Crawford was 5'9". Mm-hmm. Did you see the stats?
Yeah.
5'9", 125 pounds, 23-inch waist. And then the agency said, oh, you need to lose another 5 pounds. But I mean, we are historically getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But you do fit that sort of, that runway model kind of shape and everything. So
yeah, thank you. Like again, like it just felt like it was kind of meant to be for me. Like those supermodels, they weren't, like they had meat on their bones. Like they weren't, you know, super skinny like how they are now. And they just smiled on the runway. And Naomi, like she does her pivot, and you like show the back and then show the front. And yeah, they, like Linda Evangelista, like these, just kind of like these glamazons that had like incredible bodies. And of course, like women come in all shapes and sizes, of course, but that era, it just kind of, it works for me. And me, I'm 5'10", so I want to be 5'10", like Cindy Crawford.
Oh, I wish I was 5'10". Oh my goodness, I wish I was taller, but I'm in a smaller package. That's just fine. That's
You're fabulous
whatever.
at any height, any size. It's all about the silhouette. I kind of want to make that clear. Like, I don't want to shame anybody. It's always about the silhouette.
How long does it take you to get ready?
From head to toe takes about 2 hours.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so you get the muscle memory. It used to take much longer, but yeah, makeup takes about an hour and a half. And then, yeah, like putting on tights, getting dressed. I would say sometimes more than 2 hours.
So when you were learning, I mean, I'm much older than you are, of course, and so back in the 80s, there wasn't YouTube or the internet or all those things. So when you were learning about makeup, were you able to, did you look at YouTube tutorials and or was it through books or just through your peers and people in the community?
So it was mainly just through YouTube. Like,
yeah,
definitely.
Such a good resource for everything.
Yeah, I hate to say that because it's so easy to go online, but truly, like, an archival source, like, that's kind of where I saw the old kind of runways from the 90s, and a lot of the old, like, House of Styles by Cindy Crawford are on YouTube. And,
oh, right.
like, opera documentaries and performances from Maria Callas. Like, it's all on YouTube. Well, most of it. So
we just had a customer in today whose wife passed away, and he said, I'm using YouTube because I don't know how to cook. And I said, can you cook now? He said, not very well, but, you know, that's whatever. I mean, you can use YouTube to learn everything and anything. So you were born here in Edmonton, right?
Yes.
Not in Greece?
No.
Okay. So for anybody who's watching this out of Canada, this is, we're in Edmonton, which is a prairie. We're in a prairie province. You know, we are a very petroleum-based city, but pretty still artistic, and we have a good arts community and everything. So how do you think that your style has evolved or changed over the years?
Well, I think when I started, again, I was obsessed with early modern Millie, with Sutton Foster. So I was all about, like, really old style, like classic 20s, like early 20th century. So like drop waists, like I really wanted to sort of fulfill that.
Oh, I'm
aesthetic.
seeing you in a little, like Louise Brooks kind of a little black bob. Don't you have a bob?
Yes.
With the bangs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very 20s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, I idolized Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
So her performance in that, it was just like a complete tour de force. So anyway, getting back to your question, definitely more old style, like cutesy. I don't want to say conservative, but more like covered up and not truly like owning my body. Whereas now I still kind of will wear those things, but I've definitely like, drag has helped me love my body more and sort of like love my natural curves. And so I would say probably more sexier, probably more confident that I can truly just serve any look from any decade, whether it's an like glamorous look, whether it's, you know, performing to a Kesha song, whether it's doing an opera number with like more covered up with like full length gloves. Yes, I would say more confident.
Here's a question. If you could perform with anybody, living or dead, who would it be?
Well, speaking of supermodels, maybe George Michael.
Oh, I love George Michael.
You know, rest in peace, of course, absolute legend. If he was filming a new music video and he needed more glamorous girls to dance around, or if he was like touring or something, also another Greek legend.
That's a great choice. Who's, if you could rate anybody's closet, whose would it be?
Oh, I would say Princess Diana.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I can totally see you in a lot of those iconic looks.
Yeah, like just
maybe not the sheep sweater. But,
yeah, I'm not so familiar with that. Maybe not that. More of like the glamorous, like the dynasty dye stuff. So
the dress I think of her in is the one at the White House, and
the black with
dress.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's, I don't know who the designer was for that. That one's pretty iconic. That's
yeah. I'm not sure either. The photo of like them dancing together. Yeah. Anything of in her closet, because like she was around like during the late 80s and 90s. So again, the gorgeous suits when she's visiting a hospital, like the Chanel, the Versace.
Yeah.
Just
beautiful.
Beautiful, timeless clothing.
This is a question that's just coming to my mind. So how do you feel as a performer or in this community that do you have to set a certain example? Or
I think from growing up Greek and, going through my struggles and fighting to be who I am and just fighting to do drag, I think there is a responsibility to be myself for the younger generation and show what's possible for them. Also just, holding it up for the glamour girls, and there's still glamour girls out there. I'm kidding. There's, of course, lots of glamorous girls out there. But yeah, keeping a certain standard of drag or just fashion, femininity, I guess in a way I do feel responsible to always like harken back to the glamorous icons of the past. And
like you have this Rita Hayworth hair, right?
Thank you.
It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah. To go back to your question, I do feel a certain responsibility to sort of keep it up for the glamour girls.
Did you have somebody that you were able to look up to and go, wow, this is somebody living their truth, or somebody?
Not really, I would say. It was kind of more about practicality and not so much about fashion. Like growing up in school, I had this English teacher in junior high that came to Swish, and it was your location back in Highlands.
Oh, okay.
So again, it was kind of your store. Like I would say was kind of my gateway to physically sort of see fashion in the flesh. Of course, growing up, it was watching Fashion File and seeing the models there on TV through the media. I would say were kind of like my fashion icons. I didn't have one in particular. But then driving home from Greek school, we'd see Swish. And then my English teacher went to Swish and we would always talk about it. And you had a big, gorgeous kimono.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
Hanging on the wall. And I just finally convinced my mom one Saturday to come with me or take me there because she was driving. Not come with me, but please, let's stop. Because we lived so close to that location.
I think this is a perfect time to stop. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a peek. Instead of all the questions, we're going to take a peek at some really, really, really amazing pieces that Voula has brought. And you're going to love them. Okay, Voula. This is the moment. Yes. This is the moment of fashion and dress stories, right? So what did you bring for us? Well, first, I think we should talk about this.
Yes. This is my cupcake dress, my 50s prom dress that I got from Swish. I believe it was one of the first dresses I ever bought from here before I even started drag.
It is so Fabulous.
Yeah, but I'll do a little turn and
It's beautiful.
this one, so another thrift store find.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and
That's Lady Di-ish, don't you
yes,
think? Yeah.
totally, or like Duchess of Windsor.
Yeah.
Absolutely love this, and for this I like performed my Dia Callas in because it's so regal, and you just have like a pair of like white gloves, and then like I would wear like my Maria Callas hair. But
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
just like a peplum, and also like stuff from the late 80s and 90s, like a durable polyester.
Do you know, this dress gives me the vibe of, what's her name? It'll come to me in a minute, and then I'll say, because this has this sort of Givenchy look.
Yeah, like Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn was very much involved in the making of all of her dresses.
Yes.
This would have been kind of an Audrey Hepburn Givenchy
Oh,
piece.
totally.
Yeah.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
with like a pulled back hair moment, and
Yeah.
just let the dress speak for itself.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
This is kind of a special piece. So this is my mom's skirt suit.
That's fantastic.
This is it means a lot to me, this piece. I've worn it like obviously more than once, but like I take care of my clothes, much like how the people that, you know, brought clothes here, they take care of their fancy stuff. We take good care of her. Again, just kind of like a classic working girl suit.
Working girl.
Working girl.
Yeah. That's a great reference.
Or like mannequin, like with Kim Cattrall. So I did a mannequin.
I think your mom's probably similar age to me. And yeah, I would have had a suit like this for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
80s.
Like, nice, like, I believe it's like a linen, I'd say, or...
It's like a linen look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a classic suit that you can just do any kind of like 80s number.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the next beauty you want to show?
Well, so this is very similar to sort of this dress with like the peplum, gorgeous kind of...
This looks like Victor Costa, the designer Victor. No, but looks like one of those gowns. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, just like
I love this cut here.
Yes, very flattering. It's kind of similar to this dress, actually.
Yeah.
Just very high fashion kind of vibes from this. Again, cut beautifully, hits at the knee. I would usually wear like a black sheer tights with this and like black pumps, long black gloves, slicked back in a bun, and then it'll be very like, again, Maria Callas, sort of like a...
Ultimate performance dress, hey?
Yes. Yeah. So this one...
This one needs a drum roll, don't you think?
Da, da, da. I mean...
Hello.
Hello. Like this one is...
Untwist this here.
Just
there.
Like absolute goddess knockout bang and bod. Just...
Perfection.
Perfection gown. This one has like a beautiful stretch, and when I put it on, it fit me like a glove.
You did not need alterations in this dress. Not at all.
This one was just kind of meant to be and beautifully constructed. I wore this to coronation this year for the ICWR, the Imperial Sovereign Court of the Wild Rose. I was Duchess for Reign 47. It's like a yearly event we do to kind of celebrate like all the money we've raised, and so
that's amazing.
This is just, yeah, this is probably one of my favorite. Well, now we saved the best for last. So
you hold one and I'll hold one.
And just
look at these.
So fun, so fabulous. So the story behind these, again, I watched the movie Chicago, and I saw Renee Zellweger do the Roxy number where she's like, Roxy heart. So she had like a silver one. But first I got the gold one made. So basically It was...
It's amazing.
Yes, it just, the impact on stage. It was Alberta's Next Drag Superstar. I made it to the semifinals. I was doing A Little Party Never Kill Nobody by Fergie. And I've always wanted to do a reveal when she's like, what do you think, Goon Rock? Are you ready? Boom. Like, and that's what happened. So Melinda Verga, an amazing drag queen who was a mentor of mine and helped me through Alberta's Next Drag Superstar, she made this. This is custom.
Okay.
Yes, this was probably my first custom piece ever in drag. Yeah, and she kind of brought my vision to life. I wanted to just shock everybody. So basically I had 2 black gloves and they were filled with gold glitter. And like as the song starts.
Oh, perfect.
And then just the impact of, I just had like a black dress, like 20s dress on, like, and we stoned it. And it was, it had snaps all the way down the side, and I just went like, bow, and then everybody just went crazy. So it's kind of like a signature number of mine, and it means a lot to me. And she's gotten a lot of wear, and
it's fantastic.
Yeah, we love her. She's a nice party dress.
It's fantastic.
Actually, leotard. And then I loved it so much, so I got it in silver. So Wilda Mason, Melinda Verga's friend, made this. Same pattern that Melinda Verga had, and now we have it in silver. So this is kind of more like Renee Zellweger's in the movie. She had like a silver one with like stones.
Okay, so on that note, all about showgirls and beautiful pieces, and we're going to put those back in their little home.
Yes.
And I just want to thank you so much, Voula, for coming and being part of our series. And this has been such an honor. So again, this is such a great thing. Look at all these amazing pieces. And if you get a chance, you have to go see Voula perform.
Aww. Thank you so much for having me. I think this is like, we've come full circle. Like I kind of started my journey at Swish and shopping here and talking to you. And now this is kind of like the celebration of like my journey. And
you are arrived. You have arrived. This is, yeah, it's brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Can we do a...
Yes. Mwah.
Yeah.
Mwah. Can't work the makeup.
Thank you.
Bye.